Okay, so good evening. Today in this particular lecture with Simi, we are going to discuss. The session is divided into two parts. In the first part, is related to the Simi, how she is able to fetch All India rank 31 in the first attempt, and she took multiple sessions with us. Today, she is going to focus upon the most important part, that is how to make notes. Because the question, when you are preparing for CSE, the question is not about the availability of the content. The question is more about when you have multiple options which are available for content. A lot of coaching institutes as well as newspaper magazines are available. EPW padna hai, nahi padna, frontline padna hai, nahi padna. So a lot of options are there which are available to you free of cost. But the question is, you have a limited amount of time. On 27th June 2021 there is an exam, और उस एग्जाम में लिमिटेड नॉलेज के साथ आपको जाना है. तो उस लिमिटेड नॉलेज में कुछ आपको सेल्फ नोट्स बनाने पड़ेंगे. So which things you have to prepare yourself and which all things you can afford to outsource, maybe to some coaching institute or maybe to a peer group. If for example there can be a peer group of 2 or 3 people. So आप एक source refer कर रहे हो, you are referring Indian Express, a friend of yours is maybe focusing upon the Hindu, और कोई और 2-3 newspaper कर रहा है, something like this. So today Simi is going to discuss about how to read the newspapers, which all things you have to read in the newspaper, which all things you have to skip in the newspaper. And the second part which Simi is going to discuss is about how to make the notes. I think she will focus upon how to make the notes of GS only, right? Not for the optional. Optional we already had a session for PSIR. So these two things Simi will focus, and once Simi will finish, then I'm going to brief you about, this is the first lecture series of our new NEO 2021, which we are starting the foundation classes. At the end, I'm going to brief you about the foundation classes and the artificial intelligence component, which we are adding in identification of your peoples. I think all yours, Simi.
Okay, sir. So hello everyone. Firstly, in any type of preparation for any topic that I've discussed, I've always said that syllabus and previous year questions become very important, and they should be your starting point even for note making or for newspaper. Because like sir said, there's not an issue of content. There's a lot of content in the market. What the challenge is how to filter that out, and that is the challenge that we face, and hence syllabus and previous year questions are very important. Now, note making and newspaper reading. Hello, am I audible?
You are audible, Simi, but looks like there is some audio issues that you are in. Maybe some connectivity issues, looks like.
Should I turn off the video?
एक बार ट्राई कर सकते हैं. अभी वैसे ठीक आ रहा है, but yeah, I think we please resume.
Okay. In this process, I think there's a lot of experimentation involved. Like there's no particular blueprint how to read a newspaper. Some read it in the online mode, some in the offline mode. Some make notes online, some make it offline. So it really depends upon your comfort level, and there will be some amount of experimentation involved because you are just starting out. So initially, maybe your notes are too bulky, they are too extensive, and you will realize later on that it's not required that I should go so much in detail. And slowly you will filter down. But as someone who's already done that, I can give you some tips, some hints that I realized while I was going through this process, and hopefully you can also benefit from that. So coming to newspaper. Now a lot of people ask me whether reading newspaper is important in the first place or not. So my personal opinion is no matter which coaching institute you go or whichever monthly magazine you refer, I think newspaper is replaceable. It's not replaceable because it's not just about the current affairs knowledge that you'll get. You must understand that when you read one particular issue from different authors' perspective, different people's perspective, you yourself are building your own opinion, which is not something which happens when you read the monthly magazines. You are just given like the challenges, the pros, the cons, etc. But here your perspective, your personality in general is developing, which will help you later in the interview stage and also in general in life. Another, for those people who might think that their English is weak, I think reading newspaper daily is a great habit to improve your spoken English, to improve your vocabulary, and for a lot of other aspects which I will discuss later on. So overall, I think newspaper reading is not a must part of your preparation, and you can reduce the time for it, and we will discuss that as we move on. So now the next question comes: which newspaper should we read? You must have heard most toppers use either the Hindu or the Indian Express. Now the Hindu can be slightly a bit towards the left leaning side, but I think it's a good option. It's a very good option if you are comfortable with its language. Some people also find its language a bit difficult, so you can even try Indian Express, whose views are mostly centrist sort of. And there's one explained page in the Indian Express where one particular issue is explained in very good amount of detail. I think that makes for a very well understanding of that particular issue. So if you do read Indian Express, please don't miss out on the explained page. In The Hindu also, every Saturday there's this full page editorial which comes. It usually discusses some current issue in that week that has happened. That can work for a very good essay introduction, because people in that the reporters usually go for first hand discussions. They go and talk to the people. So those story kind of discussions that we had discussed in the essay session, you can pick that up from here. But apart from these two newspapers, I don't think like going for EPW or Live Mint or any other newspaper is suggested, because see, different newspapers have expertise in different topics, right? So Economic Times might have it in the economic section, etc. But I really don't think we need to become an expert. We have to become a generalist. We have to write general answers. We don't have to write too much in detail. And this is in fact, this is more than enough that you can do for current affairs perspective. So either The Hindu or Indian Express suffices. Now, which mode do you prefer, offline or online? I personally prefer the e-paper mode of The Hindu, and I'll tell you why I liked it. If you are comfortable reading the a hard copy of the newspaper, I think it's perfectly fine. It's absolutely up to you, your personal preference. Some people like to take up a pen and underline. I prefer reading it in the online mode. I'll tell you what the benefits are. So, firstly, e-paper mode is useful for anyone who's traveling while reading. So, I was in my final year, so I used to read the newspaper in between the classes. So, I was reading it on the go. Or for example, for working professionals who might be traveling during the daytime. So, e-paper, you can simply turn it on your mobile phone or your laptop or notepad, whatever you use, and you can read it on that. Now it's easier to filter the headings, especially in the Hindu e-paper mode. I will show you this in my PPT, but for now, I can tell you that on the right hand side, there's this column where the headings appear. So what I used to do was I simply saw whichever topic or the heading was relevant to my syllabus. I clicked on that and I simply read that article. So you can see that my first level of filtering is happening right here at the heading stage. Another thing is, let's say there's some gap in reading the newspaper and then you resume. So when you see a particular issue, you might feel lost, that a lot has happened and I'm probably not up to date. So for that, if you're reading on the online mode, you can simply go to the internet, search that topic, type UPSC at the end, and do a Google search. In that way, you can simply see whatever the background history that has happened in that issue and carry it on in that editorial or that article. And it's just easier to in general sort whatever the important pages are, the important topics are. So basically it's acting like a filter. If you can do that in the hard copy, it's well and good. Now, how do we read a newspaper? There are certain pointers that should be kept in mind for those especially who are not able to reduce their time from 2 hours to 30 to 45 minutes. I remember by the time of in my final year, by the time I was in December, I could read the newspaper in almost 30 to 45 minutes. So there are certain pointers to be kept in mind for doing so. So first of all, you have to keep a tab on the issue and not the daily updates. So let's say there's a certain proposal for a bill to be introduced. Now you don't need to go into the daily nitty-gritties of who is saying what or what the reporters are saying about each and every fine detail in that bill. Once there's this bare bill or act that has been produced, and what the editorials say, what the authors who analyzed it, what they have said, if what they to go, because you're ultimately at the end of the day, your aim should be for building an opinion, for building a perspective, rather than going into the finer details. You must remember, you are not a reporter, you are a UPSC aspirant, and you must read the newspaper from that perspective. Next is, what are the important pages in a newspaper? So the front page, usually there are some days there are certain new schemes or new policies being announced. That day the front page becomes important. Otherwise, it can be just a brief glance as well. Next, the editorials. The editorial page is very important, and there also you should try to filter out which editorial articles are important. Next, the foreign news. This is just to keep a tab of whatever the major issues are happening. Like for example, the India-Australia virtual summit that happened. Then you did not, you just had to keep a track of what the event was happening, and later on in your monthly magazine or your coaching material, you will get the summarized idea of what happened. Next is the business page. Now, business page, a lot of students neglect, but I would suggest just keep a tab if there are certain government initiatives or the RBI is coming up with some, changes in the repo rate, or some new initiatives, some related to open market operations, etc. Just to understand what is happening in the economy at that point of time. You may not go into too much nitty gritty. You may not understand it either, but you should definitely keep a watch for any RBI initiative or the government side initiative. Now, what can you skip? So, if sports is not going to be your hobby, you can completely skip it. For people who might have sports as a hobby later on, they should keep a brief track of what is happening in the current affairs. Entertainment news absolutely can be skipped. Political news, again, you have to differentiate between polity versus political. Now, what do I mean by this? Let's say there's an election happening. So, unless you are a PSI or optional student, your perspective should only be related to issues like criminalization of politics, or the percentage of women members, or the women voters, how much, if there is an increase or decrease. These kind of trends are important, not the details of who won how many seats, which party won, who becomes the chief minister. These kind of things are not important. Then again, if there is certain reforms being introduced by the judiciary or the legislature, they become important, but the party politics is not important at all. Then what another kind of news that should be kept in mind is the national or international significance news. Any issue that is happening on a national scale, uh, or is significant at a national scale, will be covered for multiple days in the newspaper. It will either be on the front page or on the editorials. So those issues have to be covered. But for example, I was taking the Delhi edition of The Hindu. So there was one or two pages devoted for the local news of Delhi. Now that is irrelevant for me. And also, if there is some new initiative, some very good initiative, let's say the happiness curriculum that was introduced by the Delhi government, that becomes a good example, a good case study that you can probably put in. But most of the times, these local news can be neglected. Another thing that you should keep track of is, let's say there's some incident happening in some part of the country, and there's certain response to it. So, for example, the lychee incident that happened in Muzaffarnagar, where some kids died after eating lychee. Now, you should understand what the administration there was doing correct, or what they were doing wrong. And if you were the district magistrate or the IPS officer in some other case, in that particular situation, what you would have done. So you can give you can sort of brainstorm about it. If this incident happens in your district, what would your response be? Or you can read up what the initiatives have been taken to tackle the situation there, because it's likely that such a situation can come as a case study in the ethics paper. Another thing that you can again keep track of are ethical examples. Now, what we do is we generally read the examples, but we don't think about them from an ethical perspective. Now, how to do that is, when you first read the ethics syllabus, there will be certain keywords that you will find, like compassion, empathy, integrity, openness, transparency. Now, if you keep a list of these words and keep seeing them, keep revising them, so when you will see an example in the current news, then you can link it with that particular value. So, for example, there was this question on values in public life. and I give the example of empathy. And then I give the example of Prime Minister Modi consoling the director of ISRO for the not so successful Chandrayaan mission. So that kind of example I could pick up, because when I read that example there, I felt like, oh, this is a beautiful example of a person showing empathy in public life. So that thing has to be kept track of, and this can be done only when you read the newspaper in a very conscious, in a very active manner. Sort of looking for stuff, for examples, for case studies, etc. Now, one question was raised by one of the students here, that even after reading the syllabus and the previous year questions, they're unable to see which topic becomes important from the exam point of view. Now, one more thing, if you're unable to decipher whether this is important or not, you can do this. That by reading that article, whether you are able to frame a question in your mind, which can probably be directly asked in any of the sections, any of the GS papers. If not, then probably that is irrelevant. And otherwise, you can also think where you can use that as an example, whether it will be in GS3 environment section, or whether that will be in GS4 ethics section. You have to see that consciously, and if you can identify some particular point where that can be used, you can go ahead and read it. So that is one way of identifying what to read and what not to read. Now, coming to how to read an editorial, I think a lot of our time, a majority chunk of our time, is spent in reading the editorials. So again, like I said, firstly see the syllabus and filter out the topics which you might think important. I think this is also important for people with arts optional, who have to keep a track of the topic. We have to keep a track of all the current affairs. So for PSIR, for example, Ashutosh Varshine and Pratap Bhanu Mehta are important authors, important scholars. But that does not mean every article of theirs is important. By reading the heading, by giving a brief glance to it, you should be able to figure out whether that is important to you or not. Now, first you give a very fast reading or a very brief glance over it. The initial sections are usually not relevant from writing notes. Towards the second half, you usually have the examples or the criticism or their perspective, their point of view. There you can sort of slow down and read it properly and then make notes if required. But the entire editorial in general is not important. Now, if there are certain articles where the author are using very difficult language and you feel like you are not able to understand their language, I would suggest don't put your too much effort into explaining, understanding their language. It's better that you simply Google search that topic on the internet and read like the first 3 or 4 analysis of the different institutes that are given, and you're good to go. You don't need to become an expert in reading these, difficult language or the fine language that these authors come up with. Now, this way, I think you can reduce your time from almost 2 hours to 30 to 45 minutes. And should now the question comes, should we make notes from the newspaper articles? I made it very selectively. I think already you'll be having your coaching material or your monthly magazines. So most of your major reading, major revision content will already be prepared. But these kind of unique examples, like we said about Prime Minister consoling the director, that is not something that will be covered in your monthly magazine. So these kind of examples, certain good case studies, certain local case studies, which you think might be important, those you can note them down, and later on you can integrate them in your notes wherever required. And also I made the notes on Evernote because I was already reading the e-paper mode. So for that, it was easier to simply change the tab, go to Evernote and read it. Now, I made very consciously, I made sure that I was never copy pasting any article or any paragraph for that matter. I simply chose the most selective keywords or wrote it in a language that I will understand later on. Because if you think that, I will read I will copy paste this article for later reference and read it later on, that is not going to happen. You have 365 days in a year, and even if you take like 300 articles, it's like a huge mountain to read in a single day or like in a month's time also. So it's better to simply do the work then and there, just filter out whatever keywords you might want to keep and then move on. So I think that was all that I had for newspaper reading. So can I move on to note making?
Yes, Peter, yes, please. I'll do some value addition in this newspaper regarding thing, but I'll do the value addition at the end of the session.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Again, like note making, like I said, it's going to be an experimentation. In the initial stages, I was also writing very long notes. They were becoming very bulky, and I very clearly understood that I'm not going to revise later on. So you can look at Kanish Kataria sir's notes, Shreyansh Kumar sir's notes, or even Anudeep Durishetty sir's notes. They write very brief, very concise, to the point notes. So those kind of that level of finessity you need to reach while making notes. So you maybe in the initial stages it will be difficult for you, but as you progress, you will realize that you have to cut down on whatever extra words that you're writing. So I'll show you some sample of my notes later on. First, let's discuss about how to make the notes. Now, the first question is, should we make the notes? My personal opinion is do the hard work earlier so that later on your revision becomes easier. Because if you see the actual exam, the general studies, it will happen. You'll have to give 5 exams in a span of 3 days. So you have very little time to revise. Almost like between the exam, you'll have 2 hours and you'll have to eat as well in that time. So your focus should be your notes are so precise, so concise, and so to the point that you can revise in that brief time as well. Now we read a lot of sources, like we read online sources, we read some notes, we read some textbooks. Now it's difficult, like we were discussing whether we should make notes or not. I think multiple sources. You can consolidate that in one place, and then it's easier to structure according to the demand of the exam to improve your answer writing. Now I'll explain the structuring part later on, but in general, from the consolidation point of view, from practicing diagrams and revising for the actual exam, it is better to make notes. Now, is it important for all the sources? I personally feel no, because if we have these basic books like Lakshmikant, Spectrum, and the Geography NCRTs, etc., but I think simply underlining and putting some value addition, whatever extra points that we learn from here and there, will suffice. And this is what I also did in my actual preparation. Also, when you're reading the basic sources for the first time, don't simply dive into note making. First, read that once and only see whether you require notes for that particular topic or not. You should plan out your note making, what all you are going to put in your notes, where you are going to make your notes, and then proceed with it. So, for example, for geography, I realized that geography NCRT suffice. So, whatever value addition I'll be doing, I will do it in the book itself, and I'll underline the important points. So, I took the geography NCRTs as my base, and GC Leong, whatever extra points I was getting, I added it to the geography NCRTs. Next, when you're getting some coaching notes, so like MK Adav sir's classes I attended for QEP and INE. Now I found those notes very concise. So I simply highlighted, I underlined the important points, and I more often I spend the time brainstorming where I will use that topic, where I can use this particular point for an introduction or for a conclusion. Next, when you're going to the coaching and you're going to write some content, so like when you start the classes with MK Other sir as well, he will be dictating some points or he will be giving some diagrams to make. Now I would suggest please use the plain sheet of a spiral bound notebook. And also, when you're starting a new topic, start it from a fresh page, so that later on when you will have like these QEP topics are divided into different headings, I used to put the relevant notes in that particular section. Now, this is possible only if you can segregate those loose sheets. Also, when the sources are too scattered, for there are some short topics like e-governance, citizen charter, etc., where the sources might be very scattered. So there you can make the notes. Now the question comes how to make the notes. First thing that you should try to keep in mind is you must personalize the notes as much as possible. Even if others are not able to read it, it's absolutely fine as long as you understand what you've written, because it's not like you are going to make another book from whatever you're reading. It's for your personal use. So personalize the notes. Don't write full sentences, absolutely no full sentences, paragraphs. You can even use a lot of abbreviations. That's why I always suggest that I cannot share my notes because you will not understand them. I used a lot of abbreviations. I did not spell check them at all. So this is primarily because you don't want your notes to be bulky, and when you're reading the notes you don't want to again filter content. It should be the most relevant, most important points only. Next, you did not worry about grammar at all. You can simply you don't even need to write full sentences. Even handwriting is something you can compromise on as long as you are able to understand. You can go for multiple pens. Like I used to use blue and red pen, depending on how much retaining. Like for example, if you read something with a red pen, you can retain it for much longer because that pops out when you're reading. So you can use that technique, but don't go for decoration is what I would suggest. Now another thing is also sort of keep a target of the number of pages that you want to spend for a particular topic. So for small topics like citizen charter or social audit, they can be simply finished off in one page itself. So keep some target, keep 1 page, 5 page, 10 page targets, and accordingly start writing the notes. Then there will be this pressure at the back of your mind that you have to be very concise, you have to be very brief. You don't have to print another book altogether. Now the next question again is whether you should make the notes in the online or offline mode. So my personal preference was a mix of both. I'll tell you the benefits of both online and offline reading. So in online mode, I used to use Evernote. It's a free app and it's very good to structure your notes, make different headings, etc. And for the offline, you used to use loose A4 size sheets. I think loose sheets are important because if you later read on any extra material, you can simply add on an extra page. Or you can even use the UPSC answer style sheet because ultimately your final answer will be reflected in this sheet. And a lot of times we might end up making diagrams which we cannot use in the actual exam because of the margin is because of the margins the space is so less that in a horizontal format you cannot use the diagram. So maybe you have to convert it into a vertical format. That can be understood if you already use the UPSC style answer sheet. Now, what are the benefits of making notes online? So firstly, you can read it anywhere, anytime. You don't have to carry some bulky notes, books, etc. with you. So for people who are traveling, again, this is very helpful. You can connect your notes to two devices. So I kept it in my mobile phone and in my laptop. So you can either use a mobile phone and with that a tab or laptop, whichever you are comfortable with. Next, you can structure, restructure, erase, value add as and when required. And I think this is the biggest benefit that online notes have, that you can simply, erase whatever content you think is irrelevant to you and start afresh, or you can shorten the material then and there itself when you read it for the second round. And you can even add extra points later on without losing the flow of the answer if you are using the online mode. But there are some benefits of offline as well. So basically writing offline more writing notes for offline is like writing your answers. So um, you can you have a conscious idea of how you're going to write in the actual exam, and similarly you can practice in your notes, which is not possible in the online mode. And also it's tedious for people who are typing out newly, who do not have the habit of using laptop for a very long time. Next, adding diagrams is very easy and very effective in a offline mode. You can, add the micro diagrams, add the arrows, flow charts, which will be very complicated if you go into the online mode. And if you're using hard copy or making reading books which are not online, then it's easier to make the offline notes rather than online. Now coming to how to make the notes, I would suggest that for every GS paper you maintain a separate file or folder and use loose A4 size sheets or actual test copy papers like we discussed earlier. And inside the GS paper as well, have it divided into sections like history, geography, society for GS1. Then for GS2 you can have polity, governance and international relations and so on. And within history as well, then you divide it into subsections like ancient, medieval, modern, after independence, etc. So this way your notes will be very structured. Now here one more benefit that you can see immediately is, let's say you're reading something online and you find that you are reading history and then you find a good example related to geography as well. So if you are making the notes online, you can simply go to the relevant tab of geography and put the notes there. But if you were making it offline, then you have to take out the entire folder containing geography notes and add the point there, which might be a bit tedious. Now coming to structuring the notes, this is very important. I think this is your notes can be very helpful in your actual exam. Now what do I mean by this is, when you're reading any particular topic, try to have an introduction, a conclusion, certain headings like challenges, models, limitations, solutions, etc., and put the points in a bullet format within this. So now what you're doing is your introduction, conclusion for a lot of topics like this are already pre-prepared, and you can directly use that in the exam. So that is, if you can do that for like the most important topics, like there'll be a question from agriculture, there'll be questions from environment. You can do that for those particular topics. You can save a lot of time in the actual exam, because when you're trying to start an answer, we face a lot of challenge. Next is, again, keep only the most important keywords, most important key ideas, and try to use your own language as much as possible, because you can recall that better and you can remember that better as well. Incorporate the diagrams, flowcharts, tables, whatever extra points, whatever brownie points you will want to add in the actual answer, that should be first done in your notes itself. You can experiment with making diagrams. So when you're reading disaster management, and let's say sir has discussed, when you're reading border security, and sir has given you 2 diagrams related to how you can make for border security, you can experiment with a third one. So he has mentioned about what is the challenge in the western, central, and eastern sector. Then you can make a detailed diagram of what is happening in Jammu Kashmir. Next, you can go for the northeast section, and in the northeast, you have borderline with China, you have border with Bhutan, you have border with Bangladesh, you have border with Myanmar. What are the issues from these different places? So these kind of diagrams, the more and more you think about it and the more and more you practice it in your notes, the better you can reproduce it in the actual exam. Next, another thing that I invested time in, and I suggest everyone who's starting out to do it, is to maintain a separate list of the different commissions or committee recommendation. Like you have the Kothari, you have the second ARC, you have the Sarkaria, you have the Punchi Commission. Make a list of all the committee recommendations. Next, again, the article numbers. We try and remember this as much as possible for the prelims, but somewhere towards the mains we forget them, thinking that now so we only think about the analytical points, but actually these are your brownie points which no one else will write because they don't remember it. So if you've already made a list of the article numbers, and you can probably paste it in front of your room wherever you study, and front of your table, and remember them, that will be very helpful. So other topics in Lakshmikant, these small topics like the parliamentary committees or the tribunals, these again you can make like a 1-page note and revise them again and again. Then the judgments also, you can make a separate list of the topics. The case studies, you can make a separate list. Then the prime minister president speeches. So these things, the more and more concise you're making it. I had also discussed in my answer writing, like making a list of the keywords. So when you're writing a geography answer, if you have a keywords like geomorphology, climatology, oceanography, if they get reflected in your actual answer, they will make a greater difference as compared to writing the generic points like anyone else who is writing. Also, for topics like geography, disaster management, border security, practice the diagrams beforehand as much as possible. So for geography, like I said, I used to make the notes in my NCERT itself. But other than that, I had made a list of the different diagrams that I might use in the actual exam. And I was seeing the diagrams over and over again. And then also in your notes, you should try and maintain a list of your pending topics or certain questions that you came across in the previous year, questions that you could not answer, so that you always have that those points in the top of your page. And whenever you do clear one topic, then you can strike it out, so you have a good idea of what are the pending topics. So I think now I will show you the some simple sample notes that I had made. So you will have to give me, you'll have to give me permission for sharing the screen.
Okay, hold on that. I have to make you host.
Yes, sir.
Or I think I can make you a co-host. Yeah, I think now we can try, please. Possible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Your PPTs are also like your answers, total to the point. Eh? Yeah.
Okay, so like we were discussing earlier, how to read the e-paper of The Hindu. So in this mode, you can see on the right hand side, you have these headings coming up like Oxford vaccine trials to resume in UK. PLA hands over 5 Arunachal youth who strayed into China. So these kind of headings, now you can simply filter those topics which will be relevant from your exam point of view and just read those particular topics. So now PLA handing over 5 Arunachal youth, you can have a brief glance over it, but you don't necessarily need to know what happened, why it happened, how it is going to affect later on, because if it is going to be something of national international significance, then it will definitely appear in the editorials. Now coming to note making, so like I said, I did not make separate notes for modern history. So in Spectrum itself, like I pointed out in point 1, 2, 3, 4, these are extra value addition, some of it which I could do from the old NCRT. So I simply wrote those points here in the book itself. Next, like for world history. So for world history, I felt like the notes, the points or the sources were too scattered. So I brought them down into one page. Now for Chinese revolution, like you can see, I have mostly summarized it in one page itself. So try to reduce your content as much as possible. And because I knew I had to fit it in one page no matter what, I was writing it accordingly. So you can see there's no grammar involved. There is no decoration sort of, no neat handwriting. And if you're not able to understand, that's good enough because I understand what I've written. Next, for geography, like I said, I used to make a lot of diagrams. So for geomorphology, like these are diagrams picked up from GC Leong or the NCRTs. And like the few sources like PMFIS, whatever, few extra sources I used for understanding the detailed points. So these diagrams are very helpful because if you don't practice them beforehand, you will not be able to produce it in the actual exam. Next is, this is like an e-paper note that I made of the list of recommendations by Sarkaria Commission. Now again, you can see there is no spell checking, etc. But now I've not just made these points, I have further integrated it in the relevant section. So in the topic of governor, I will have written down that Sarkaria Commission has recommended these points for selecting the governor. So you should, you should play as much as possible with your notes. You should integrate the notes, so to say, that you don't just simply make the commission recommendations, you then integrate it in the relevant topic, so that when you're revising that again, you read those particular recommendations. Next is, like I said, this was a topic of Gram Sabha. So I've written some introduction that I could use, or even in the conclusion if possible. Then what are the functions, then what are the weaknesses. And here, as you can see, I've written the committee names, etc. in bold. So that even if you don't remember the exact criticism or, whatever recommendations they have given, you can simply write Mani Shankar Iyer committee has pointed out several criticisms. But that Mani Shankar Iyer committee makes a lot of difference in your answer. So this is something I missed out in the previous session on essay, that I was discussing about brainstorming, and this was a topic, essay topic, that I had chosen for the actual exam. So these are on the right and left columns. You can see these examples that I have written down. In the middle section are in the boxes are those headings that I've used in the actual exam, and within it, now those arrows represent, that sort of jigsaw that I was saying, that you have to fit in. You have to bring the right example to the relevant argument. That helped me bring a overall structure to my answer. This is something you can practice, and with practice you can develop it to come to this stage.
Simi, sorry to interrupt you in between. I think this was the essay topic which was asked this year in the final exam, right?
Yes, sir.
So you did all this thing just for the session?
So I did it for writing that particular essay.
Yeah. No, but that you must have done in the UPSC answer copy, right? Not here.
Yeah, in the UPSC answer copy was pretty much similar looking.
Yeah.
Having points on the left and right, having those headings, and then bringing it to the relevant topic.
Okay.
So I think that was all from my side.
Okay. So, no, I think you can switch on your camera. if it is not on. Yeah, अब तो सीधे यहाँ से लबासना जाने वाला है, वापस क्लास में तो आने वाला है नहीं, इसलिए. So okay, I want to evaluate in few things. So Simi was talking about that she wrote the notes in the online format. So देखो दो चीजें हैं, एक है कि online format में you must be not comfortable in making your notes online, and the second one is offline. Now there are both positives and negatives of making the notes online as well as offline. The positive of online is what Simi explained, that you can do the value addition anytime, किसी भी दूसरा source पढ़ा और आप add कर सकते हो. In case of online, the negative is that you have to write your mains exam in the offline format. So when you make your notes offline, it becomes a habit of making the notes offline, of writing the answers offline. But the major problem of making the notes offline is कि आप उसमें value add नहीं कर सकते हो बाद में. So अगर आपने ARC2 पढ़ा और ARC के साथ आपको MM पुंची का कुछ value addition करना है, वो आप नहीं कर पाओगे बाद में. So personally, I suggest you that you should make your notes only in the online format. But there are candidates that who are coming to us and then they are saying that they prefer offline format. So it's not a rule that you should always make your notes in the online format. But yes, if you will ask me, I'll also suggest you to make your notes online. But uske apne negative hain, just like Simi ke case mein, I'll explain you later on. Simi, can you hear me? Looks like some network issue. Anyways, okay, so the next thing which I want to discuss is that in case of any confusion, so for example, the land reforms is there. So land reforms is also there in the GS paper 1. It's also can be asked in GS paper 2 governance section. It also can be asked in economics wala section. For example, a poverty topic can be asked in GS paper 1, paper 2, paper 3, maybe case studies, maybe some optional. So where to include that particular thing? So I suggest you, in case there is an overlapping of topic, one topic which is also there in GS 1, 2, 3, 4, I suggest you to put that topic in GS paper 1. Why so? Because when, just like Sima was talking about that, we have the same exam are being conducted. You have to write 5 exams continuously. So the problem is that if you write your answers in the GS paper 3 or GS paper 4, which is conducted on the second day or on the third day, so in case you will not be able to revise that topic just one day before the exam. Suppose your exam starts from 1st of September, and so on 1st September there will be GS paper 1 and GS paper 2. On 2nd of September there will be GS paper 3, GS paper 4. Now suppose that you have jotted down your notes of poverty on GS in GS paper 3 notes. So what is going to happen? You are not going to revise on 1st of September or 31st of August. So in case of any confusion, I suggest you that you should write your notes on GS paper 1 in case of the overlapping topics. Isko dhyan rakhna, because why you are making notes? You are making notes just for the final day. One day before the exam, you should have only limited number of sources to revise so that you can write and you can do some enrichment in the answers. Before that, I think Simi is facing some difficulties. Simi, I think you can rejoin if it is possible. Okay, fair enough. Yes. So yeah, the second thing is that if you are making note, so just Simi also suggested don't do the note making in the first reading. I suggest you even don't do the note making in the second reading. You should read any particular source twice before making the notes. Otherwise, kya hoga? You will make a bulky note, and these bulky notes will never be revised. So if you are planning to have, for example, agar aapko world history ke notes banane hain, or for example, agar aapko any topic which you want to make note, so just make the note after reading that particular source twice. Uske baad mein hi note making mein jana. Otherwise, it is a waste of time. You should revise the book twice before summarizing that particular book. Otherwise, what happens is that everything looks relevant. This is also relevant. This is also relevant. This is also relevant. You will end up producing 70% of that particular book, which is again not a good option. Then you have the third thing which Simi was also talking about, that with respect to the answer writing. Because in mains you have the luxury to write anything. In case of mains, it is a subjective based question paper in which nothing is absolutely right and nothing is absolutely wrong. It is just the order of priority. So in case of mains answer writing, whatever we are going to discuss in the class, just simulate it. It is, I'm telling you, it is very difficult to clear this exam in your, especially the mains in 4-5 months, which she did. How we all should learn from what all things which Simi did and how she was able to clear this exam. So what you can do is that in case of the mains, try to interrelate the topics. So for example, what is that internal security ka diagram hai. So we are going to give these handouts, these notes to all of you. Now it is up to you that how to interrelate these particular notes. So how to interrelate internal security to the governance, how to relate internal security to the international relations, how to draw India's map in security also, in geography also, in international relations also, in case of the internal security also, in case of economics also. So that is something which is required actually to open up your mind or open the dimensions. Usko thoda sa aur dhyan denge. Next we have is, which she was talking about, that don't decorate your notes. So in this thing, you know, I differ from her because abhi main unki sample copy share karunga aapke sath. Uski notes already decorated hote hain bhai. The way she was, you know, writing the answers, they were already decorated. So in case, if some of you are, you want to make your notes in some decorated format, or maybe you want to use 2 or 3 different colors of the pen, I suggest you can do it, because different colors helps you to recollect that particular information in the exam. And the last thing which I want to add, value addition in case of Simi's session, was related to that online format के notes and the offline formats के notes. उसमें एक और value addition करूँगा मैं. In case you are making your notes online, how it is beneficial to you also, that whenever you are, you know, meeting the faculty, अब offline में तो register लेके आओगे नहीं, but in case whenever offline classes के अंदर, whenever you have the opportunity to meet the faculties, you don't need to carry those particular notes. You just bring that particular mobile or something जिसके अंदर आपके सारे questions होंगे, सारे notes होंगे. You can show it to me. And the suggestions which we are going to give, you are going to do, you know, value add that particular things in your notes. Otherwise, once you will make your notes in the offline format, तो फिर उसमें changes नहीं होंगे. So I also suggest कि इसके notes online format में बना लेना, so that whatever suggestions, real-time suggestions which we are going to give, so that you can incorporate those suggestions. And then Simi, once Simi came, I think during the interview you came with 100 questions or something, right? किस टाइम था वो, मेंस का टाइम था या इंटरव्यू का टाइम था? वो बहुत खत्म ही नहीं हो रहे थे क्वेश्चंस तेरे. इंटरव्यू था, आई थिंक सो, राइट? Looks like, I think so. I'm not able to recall the exact thing, but yeah, there were, once I encountered, and one only throughout whenever she was with me, once I was in my mind, बस कर बेटा, कितने क्वेश्चन पूछेगा, बोला नहीं था मैंने आपको, but yes. Yes. Next we have is, I want to brief you about the NEEV program which we are starting. Just before that, I want to share some of the sample notes of Simi. Is my screen visible to you? I think so. Yeah, so the first thing, okay. So the first thing which I want to share is, which Simi was talking about, that when you start preparing for this particular exam, sometimes it is difficult to understand which things are relevant, which things are not relevant. So to help our candidates, help our students, now we have come up with this particular thing, that in which we are going to, at maybe 9 or 9:30 in the morning, we are going to share these documents with you. Is my screen visible to you or not? So for example, these are the 6-7 newspapers which we are going to cover every day.
So the screen is not visible.
Screen is not visible. Okay, what more I have to do? It is showing me stop share.
Now
so
it's visible.
Okay, good. So for example, the business standard. ये दिख रहा है क्या बेटा?
Yes, sir.
The business standard, the one design is there, right? Visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is how we are going to share with you, all of the students, by 9:30 in the morning. that this is what you should read in the Business Standard. This will help you to, to skip the non-relevant stuff from the newspaper. So for example, this is from the Business Standard we have, then from the Economic Times. We are going to share with the 7 newspaper, but I don't suggest you to cover these as 7 newspapers. So some of the candidates who prefer कि मुझे Live Mint पढ़ना है, किसी का economics optional होगा. Some of you prefer मुझे Indian Express पढ़ना है, so you can refer this Indian Express वाला. Some of you prefer नहीं मुझे The Hindu पढ़ना है, मुझे Times of India पढ़ना है. So all this information will be shared with you at 9:30 in the morning, so as for the initial days you require a hand holding that from first page, from second page, from third page, this much is relevant and this much is not relevant. So this is one thing which we are going to cover. Second is we are also going to share the handouts with you, the summary of the editorials, for example. So for example, from the whole 7 newspapers. So for example, The Hindu, this is for the date of 1st of June. So if there are 2 or 1 editorial which is relevant from exam perspective, we are going to share the summary notes of that particular editorial. That will help you if you are making your own notes and how it should be, how the note making should be done. That will help you to bridge that particular gap. That for example, initially when you will start reading the newspaper, you will not be able to appreciate the viewpoint of the writer. Because initially you may think that this thing is relevant, this thing is not relevant, how to use these particular keywords, which all points which are relevant from this particular editorial. So for example, this is one of the editorial that it's a time for a universal basic income program. So you can use some keywords. So disruptive technologies can be, microsocialism can be, universal basic income can be, poverty eradication tools. So for example, technology and governance can be integrated here. So quasi basic income. Then we have the challenges to employment in India, advantages of UBI. So a brief summary of all these editorials will be shared with you on everyday basis. But this summary will be available at the end of the day. When I say end of the day, it means nearby 5:30 or 6. Only The Hindu and Indian Express, these 2 newspaper summary will be available to you by 1:30 p.m. daily, except Sundays. The other newspaper summaries will be available to you by maybe by 5:30 or 6 o'clock. As you can see that we already started sharing all this information from June or maybe from May, I think so. So we are calling it as the Rainbow Editorial Series, in which to all our NEEV Foundation students, this weekly definitions that will be shared with you. Then the daily MCQs, 7-8 MCQs which will be shared. Then the daily factos will be shared, and the daily editorials which will be shared with you. May, June, July, August, September. So anywhere you can go and then you can refer that this is how you have to read the newspaper. So for example, if you'll go to 1st September, so on the 1st September, we have these many editorials you have to read, and this should be the summary note of this particular. So if you will go to Indian Express, for example. So on Indian Express, a different view of the world. So the keywords which you require, which you have to jot down from this particular editorial, the summary of this editorial, then we have some headings, some subheadings for this particular, then maybe a second editorial which was relevant that address the trust deficit between the government and the citizens. So all this information which will be shared with you guys in this particular NEEV program. Then the second thing which I wanted to share with you was with respect to the answer copies of Simi. So this is how she used to write the answers. अब इसमें इससे अच्छा decoration क्या लेके आओगे? Anyways, so for example, this was the answer which she wrote in this year's 2019 mains answer. So how far is the integrated farm system IFS helpful in sustaining the agricultural production? In this particular question, you have to integrate agricultural production and the integrated farming system. Such a good diagram, an example which she gave in the middle. I don't know how to use this pen, but yeah, from farmland to farm pond, from wheat feed, the stock feed can be, and the duck can be there, and finally the fish can be there. These are the small things which will help you to fetch extra 1 marks in the exam. इसी पे हम सबको focus करना है. देखो points तो 5-6 points you have to write, and how beautifully she wrote the challenges which was not asked in the exam, but this is where you have to fetch extra half marks, extra 1 marks or so. So this is the final answer copies, which all these copies will be shared with you. But yeah, this is the reason why I wanted to negate which Simi was saying that कि उसको थोड़ा सा अच्छा नहीं बनाना है, but हाँ थोड़ा बनाएंगे, उसका अपने आप में strength था. So for her it was her inbuilt talent that the way she was writing the answers was really good. But if some of you are facing the problem of handwriting अच्छा नहीं है या point wise में नहीं लिख सकते हो etc. and also in such cases you require that artificial decoration in your answers. So I suggest that if you have a strength for that, try using that. And the second is the case studies which Simi was talking about. So we have these case studies that Simi nahi banaya. So for example, we have education. So these case studies you can use in the exam related to education if you want to write. So revamping the education system in the Andhra Pradesh. So try to you make these case studies in the theme-wise format. So education pe you can have some case studies. Then we have youth and skill pe case studies can be there. Then all these case studies, poverty pe case study ho sakta hai, health pe case study ho sakta hai, nutrition pe case studies, sustainable development case studies, agriculture case studies, manufacturing case studies. All these case studies will help you to understand the best practices in this particular sector. And the same we have to use in GS paper 3, 2, especially in GS paper 4, in your optionals, etc. and all. तो ये सब वो value enrichment है जिसको हमें focus करना है if you want to clear the exam in the first attempt. उसके अलावा में चलना है अपन को 4-year engineering plan या next 5-year plan, तो फिर that is the separate domain. I think Simi, if possible, if you can answer some of the questions. I think we will start from the Q&A section. Can only newspaper is sufficient for current affairs?
I don't personally think that only newspapers are sufficient, because firstly we don't have that much knowledge. When you read monthly magazines, or like for example in mains I did the INA classes, so they are bringing these content from many different sources, which it's personally I don't feel at our level it's possible. So you can either supplement it with a monthly magazine or join some coaching for that. I think this is necessary with the newspaper.
Especially when there are time constraints, यार.
True.
देखो हम कुछ अलग नहीं पढ़ाते हैं, समझ लो इस चीज को. और मेरे पास कोई मैजिक वैंड नहीं है, मैं मैजिक वैंड दूंगा और आपका सिलेक्शन हो जाएगा, ऐसा कहीं भी नहीं होता. If somebody is saying कि हमारे कोचिंग इंस्टीट्यूट लगा लो और हम आपको 100% क्लियर करा देंगे, ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं होता है. I'm just a traffic police wala. Every time I used to say this, that I only can give you a direction. I only can help you in increasing the speed of your vehicle. That's it. After some time, my role, my particular value addition in your preparation ends somewhere. उसके बाद में आप ही को करना है वो सब कुछ. But yeah, अगर डायरेक्शन नहीं होगा तो ऐसा नहीं है सिलेक्शन नहीं होगा, नंबर ऑफ इयर्स ज्यादा लग जाएंगे बस. ऐसा नहीं, मैं टैलेंट इंक्रीज नहीं करता हूँ बच्चे का, वो खुद ही टैलेंटेड है. प्रॉब्लम ये होता है कि नंबर ऑफ इयर्स एक्स्ट्रा हो जाते हैं बस. Ma'am, it means before becoming an IAS, we have to start thinking like an IAS. Of course, yeah. Unless and until you think that you can clear this particular exam, कैसे करोगे? तो फिर वो एक a lot of money will be wasted in case of in case of the number of years and the guilt which comes कि आपने ये time waste कर दिया, वो time waste कर दिया, etc. and all. Because if a continuous if self questioning mechanism में चले जाते हो आप, so आपको if you will waste 2 or 3 days by not reading any particular book, उसके next 2-3 days you waste in guilt. So before becoming an IAS, you have to your planning should be like this, that you are going to clear the prelims no matter what happens. You have to clear the mains no matter what happens. So before the exam starts, you have the luxury to do the course correction. Once the exam is over, then there is no course correction in that. So आपको वो सोचना ही पड़ेगा that you are going to clear this particular exam and the required efforts that you have to put in. It temporary नहीं हो सकता. When you are preparing for CSC, maybe some of the candidates think कि चलो state PCS तो चला ही हो ही जाएगा या बैंक PO हो जाएगा. It's not vice versa. You can never take CSC preparation as a secondary thing and then focus upon some other thing. That is not possible. Always CSC preparation should be the first thing and which requires efforts. Then we have, ma'am, right now I'm in second year of the college. Will I be eligible to give this exam in 23? देखो यार, on 1st of August of that particular year, your age should be more than 21. So if your age on 1st of August 2023 is more than 21 years, you can give the exam. If your age is on 1st of August 2022 is 21 years, you can give the exam on 2022. अब आप उसके accordingly देख लेना. Now I have a regionalistic message, sir. I'm from Mahendragarh. Good. Power Ramdev is also from Mahendragarh. 2-3 days. What about the atlas? Because after learning also from 2-3 days, it's also forgettable. Regarding the atlas wala thing correlated to location-based questions. Simi, I think you can answer this question.
Uh, for basically for map work at the prelim stage, what I was doing was I went to YouTube. I searched like there are these tricks to remember the names of countries around seas and the names of the oceans, the mountains and the tributaries. So I simply saw them on the YouTube. I made a list of all the mnemonics or the short forms abbreviations that we use, and I revised that over and over again. At least the oceans questions and well, most doable questions are mostly done this way. Now there are always some questions like this sanctuary is by which river or this city is by which river. Until and unless you are local to that place or you have some other idea about it, I don't think they can be done. Personally, I could never crack those kind of questions.
Yeah, so you have to, optimally put in your efforts. Like, for example, if 5 questions are there and 3 are, you can attempt 3 right questions with minimum effort. So I also suggest that you should focus only upon these 3 things. Unless and until you have a geography option in which there is a mandatory map for India. Then there is a question, sir, it is advisable to bypass the newspaper with 2-3 institute daily compilation. Oh no, yeah, not at all. Newspaper makes every time I say newspaper makes your mind fertile. So everything which we are going to cover in the class will not be 100% equivalent to the questions which UPSC is going to ask. There will always be 2-3 questions from the current affairs, directly from current affairs, which we are not going to cover in the class. ऐसा तो होगा ही होगा. So in such questions, that is the only edge that you have, na? So never stop reading newspapers.
Also, like running after 2-3 classes material is not advisable, because at the end of the day you can only do this much, like you can not give more than 1.5 hours for current affairs. If you go for so many monthly magazines, like people ask me if we should go for daily insights, that summary, and then vision IS for monthly. I did try could not handle the sheer volume of the information that was coming. So I then simply, for the prelim stage, I stuck with the monthly magazines and the current affairs on newspaper, and after that I had joined the INA classes.
Then kindly tell how to read the second ARC report and the Niti Aayog action agenda and what's to include from those for the note making. Before Simi answers, for Niti and Aayog, we have a summary notes. I think last year Ritika prepared Niti Aayog wala, and this year Simi included some of the major portions also. So regarding second ARC,
I did not, like sir said, I did not read Niti Aayog 3-year action agenda, etc. I simply read those summaries that were given in the class. For second ARC, again, summaries are available. I think GS score summary is available, or some major points mostly will be covered in the class in the relevant topic. So either you can do that or you can go through those summaries, but please don't go through the actual notes because they are very lengthy. Uh, the text is very small. I think it's very beautifully written, but it's not from UPSC perspective. So reading the summaries, simply the suggestions, recommendations is much better.
yeah. There is a question, sir, if we have ready-made notes, can we just highlight important points and add some points on that itself? I'm not sure whether you are asking about the current affairs or the static. If it is static, then absolutely yes. If it is current affairs, then you have to do some value addition. Should we cover 2 years current affairs? Minimum 2 years current affairs you have to cover. Minimum. Yes. That is minimum in the sense, there is a continuous evolution of the concept. So for example, अगर आप इंडिया श्रीलंका रिलेशन देख रहे हो या आप आत्मनिर्भर भारत देख रहे हो, to understand Atmanirbhar Bharat, you have to understand Make in India. Unless and until you understand the challenges of Make in India, how Atmanirbhar Bharat is going to solve the liquidity problems of the Indian economy, how it will be a fiscal stimulus to the Indian economy, that you will not be able to appreciate. फिर वही एवरेज आंसर्स जाते हैं और एवरेज आंसर्स में वही 80 मार्क्स आते हैं.
So one more thing is, if like suppose now you're targeting for 2021, you don't need to pick up the previous newspapers and start reading for the sake of current affairs. Sir, when he'll be taking the classes, whatever the faculty members classes they'll be taking, they have created these notes from this 2 years or 3 years perspective. So the background will already be done. You don't need to separately read the newspaper for that.
Or daily current affairs like Insights on India necessary?
If you can handle the sheer volume of information, yes, but I could not, so I stopped reading it.
Then we have some Telegram groups and all. I'll share the link of the Telegram group and other things in the timeline. A complete year after my graduation. Regarding how she managed her time in the day of preparation. थोड़ा सा वापस बता दो बेटा regarding the planning and other components.
So, like you said, like you know, I prepared in a very short time. So I always had this time constraint. So first thing I was clear on is कि perfection के पीछे नहीं भागना है. So I had very limited sources. One source, बाकी सारा value addition होता था. Whatever like I showed, spectrum में add कर दिया, geography में add कर दिया, और जो scattered थे उनको एक जगह इकट्ठा कर लिया. Next was planning. So I used to have these monthly targets. अगर मेरे पास 4 महीने तो let's say GS 1 2 3 पे ज्यादा टाइम देना है तो आई गिव 3.5 months टू दैट, तो उसको डिवाइड किया. फिर देन नेक्स्ट कम्स हिस्ट्री को मैं कितना टाइम दूंगी. नेक्स्ट हिस्ट्री में मॉडर्न हिस्ट्री इज द मोस्ट रेलेवेंट पार्ट, तो उसको मैं कितना टाइम दूंगी. सो डूइंग दैट आई कुड रीच लाइक आवरली टारगेट्स कि आज दिन भर में इतना करना है तो अगले 1 घंटे में इतना खत्म करना है. सो व्हेन यू सेट दीज टारगेट्स फॉर योरसेल्फ, आपको हमेशा कॉन्शियसली प्रेशर एक रहता है कि इतना तो खत्म करना ही है और उसके बाद उठना है. तो दैट हेल्प मी इन द कंप्लीशन प्रोसेस अ लॉट. देन आंसर राइटिंग पे बहुत शुरू से ही मेरा फोकस रहा था. इवन इफ आई कुड नॉट राइट द आंसर्स, आई यूज्ड टू थिंक अ लॉट कि अच्छा इसका मैं इंट्रोडक्शन ये डाल दूंगी, कंक्लूजन ये डाल दूंगी. like like I've given it earlier also कि agriculture के लिए I had thought these conclusions कि if we do these steps, a farmer will become an agripreneur and the ease of doing agribusiness will improve. So these kind of keywords or these introductions, conclusions, do it pre-planned as much as possible. And thus revision karte raho as much as possible.
Okay, thank you. Then we have, there is one question, sir, how far we have to go for a single news, for example, for Rafale? Because the political news which is related to Rafale is not relevant. What you have to understand that the defense procurement policies, the changes in the defense procurement policies, India-France relationship mein kya hoga? The private sector participation in the defense. In pre, you can expect a question that this much of the directly the FDI is allowed in this particular sector. फिर उसमें आपको परमिशन लेना है, विदाउट परमिशन लेना है, परमिशन कौन देता है, which board it gives, which directorate general it gives, whether it is also the role of the RBI or not. The political things ki what the Rahul Baba is saying or what the RBI Baba is saying is not relevant from this. What is relevant from exam perspective is the connected things from the Rafale. डिफेंस प्रोक्योरमेंट चेंजेस इन द मेंस में आ सकता है डिफेंस प्रोक्योरमेंट पॉलिसीज की वजह से, और इंडिया चाइना रिलेशनशिप विद रिस्पेक्ट टू द रफाल. इस वे में यू कैन एक्सपेक्ट द क्वेश्चंस, बट नॉट लाइक द पॉलिटिकल न्यूज और सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने स्टे लगाया नहीं लगाया, नॉट एट ऑल रिलेवेंट. डिटेल्ड बुक लिस्ट फॉर मेंस, ये किसी सेशन में कवर किया है क्या?
तो मतलब वैल्यू एडिशन वगैरह का बता दिया था. आई विल बी पुटिंग अप द बुक लिस्ट इन 1 or 2 days ऑन माय ब्लॉग.
ब्लॉग का लिंक डाल दो प्लीज आप. लास्ट ईयर भी दिया था, लास्ट सेशन में दिया था, इसमें भी दे देते हैं. ओके, देन जस्ट फ्यू मोर क्वेश्चंस. There is one question which a candidate is asking, is there any possibility to conduct a scholarship test? We are thinking about that. It's not yet finalized actually. So we are planning to give a scholarship to the top 5 candidates of all the colleges across India. Then we have network. Yeah, the video link which I shared, you can go through that particular video to understand what exactly is new and how we are going to integrate the artificial intelligence and the mentorship approach which we are coming up. इसको एक बार देख लेना आप लोग. इकोनॉमी स्ट्रैटेजी तो नहीं समझा बेटा क्वेश्चन में. सर, how so many topics of mains are overlapping, how to compartmentalize them? Don't compartmentalize them, yeah. I always suggest ki if some compartmentalized topics are there to integrate them. So don't artificially compartmentalize the topics. Each and every topic which is mentioned in your syllabus is somehow related to each other. You have to give multiple dimensions in your answers rather than artificially compartmentalizing it. One question is there, Simi, that is for you, sir. Any suggestions for the aspirants who are working professional works 11 to 8 p.m.?
So, like I said, you can try the e-paper mode. You can try making the e-notes. Try to like there are these half-hour breaks or whatever break time you get basically in your office hours as well. Try to use that for finishing off your newspaper or any revision that you want to do. And after you come back home, you can read the static portion of your content. Of course, you'll get less time, but you have to be very creative in terms of finding time. This is true for any student who is in college or any working professional. And I think if you want further details, I think AIR 20 this year, she was a full-time working professional.
Yeah.
So you can see her video, her strategy videos as well.
Also have her session, Neha. She was also associated with us. We can have a session of Neha on our platform. Just one second. Okay. आपने share कर दिया बेटा blog link?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I also share the Telegram link in which you can get the future information. Please conduct a session on essay. Essay का last ही session हुआ था. It is on the editing stage. Will be shared with you maybe today end of the day or tomorrow end of the day on our YouTube channel. YouTube channel का link आपको ऊपर दिया है, वहाँ से हो जाएगा. Any other questions? Yeah, one I can see average students in UPSC. All the students who are giving UPSC exam are average. मतलब it's not like कि if you are talented then you are going to clear this exam. ऐसा नहीं होता है. Or if you are average you are not going to clear the exam. No, not at all. I saw in my experience of last 5 years, I saw candidates from IIMA not even able to clear prelims exam in 3 continuous attempts. Forget about mains and other things. IIMA, at least at the level of post-graduation level, is regarded as one of the most prestigious college in India. I also saw a lot of students from just BA graduate, that also a general BA who are clearing this particular exam. And we have a lot of, because the exam syllabus is so different, it requires a different skill set. Now, if you have a diversified exposure during your college, that is just a value addition. But that value addition inherently will not help you much in clearing this particular exam, because there's a permutation and combination of so many of these subjects. Maybe your economics is good, so your history is weak. If your history is good, maybe your geography is weak. If your geography is good, maybe your society is weak. If your society is good, maybe your ethics is weak. If ethics is good, maybe your essay writing is not good. So there's a permutation and combination of all these different subjects. Don't take it like an average student. Average student UPSC mein kuch nahi hai. There's nothing like an average student in the UPSC preparation. I know, वापस session, a lot of candidates who fetch just 60% in their graduation. That's it, and that's too in DA. Able to clear this exam just in first attempt. We will have some more sessions of maybe Hindi medium students or so who were able to clear this exam in this year only, in the first attempt only, and normal graduate, BA graduate candidates. So वो average वाली जो आपके मन में है ना कि this is just a game कि अगर बहुत starting से अच्छे हो तभी UPSC clear होता है, ऐसा नहीं होता है. मतलब Simi is in front of me, I should not say like this, but yes, ऐसा नहीं होता है कि कोई talented बच्चा है and there is a one-to-one relationship between a highly talented kid and able to clear this exam in the very first. ऐसा नहीं होगा. ठीक है, I think so. These questions only. So maybe we can have 1 minute. Sir, when we are reading the newspaper for the first time, do we need to make notes or we should read for some days? I think 25 days तक आप newspaper पढ़ लो, उसके बाद में notes बनाना start करना. Because unless and until you understand the basics, so for example, if a news is there with respect to RBI liquidity, so unless and until you do know CRR क्या है, SLR क्या है, उस repo rate क्या है, उसका impact market पे क्या पड़ रहा है, government bonds क्या है, तब तक notes बनाने का फायदा नहीं होगा. So I suggest कि उस particular subject का first you should understand the basics and then only you should make the notes. उसके लिए. ठीक है, I think so. Thank you, Simi. Thanks for the time. We can have a second session of some other selected candidates on the, I think on the weekdays, on the even days we are having topper session, and on the odd days we are having faculty symposium. Okay, thank you. Looks like Simi's network is again facing some issues. Bye bye guys. Bye bye.
The answer writing ka session also, if they see with this video, basically the note making and the answer writing, that will be very helpful.
Yeah, I asked the email IDs of all these candidates if so I shared a link. वैसे तो वो YouTube पे भी आ जाएगा, but in case you want some copies of also of Simi and all, I think I shared somehow in between that link wala portion जहाँ पे you can register, I think so. I shared your previous answer writing wala YouTube link I shared, I think so. One second. Yeah, that I shared answer writing. And other videos of Simi are also available on our YouTube channel. ठीक है. Okay, beta. Thank you.
Okay,
Thanks a lot.
thank you, sir.